Tuesdays divided, clock hits 8. No filters here, just talk that straight. Laugh so loud, they can shake the gate. Facebook fam always pulling their weight. We hit live, roll out the streets, we roam. Truth in the mic, we don't play clone. Real ones know this is where it's grown. No bravado, just a real talk zone. No bravado, that's the code. We go live and we unload. Real talk flows never slow. Facebook crew, that's the road. No bravado, no disguise. Tuesday nights we energize. Truth and laughter we baptize. Tune in fam, we're on the rise.
Good evening, No Bravado Massive. How you guys doing? Today we've got a really interesting show lined up. Please, hi Shasha.
Hi, Lovey, you alright?
Yes, my dear. Welcome.
Oh, good.
Let's add the fabulous Mitchelle Greenaway to the stage.
Yay!
It's such a pleasure to have you. I've been watching back some, like, I think you done our very first show that we put out, Mitchell.
Oh wow, was it your first show?
It was our very first show when we interviewed that lady that had been sexually abused by her father. Very interesting show. And, funny enough, I've started to repurpose those clips and they are getting the most traction because a lot of people are saying that she was really brave to share her story.
Yeah.
So, and we all look so much younger. It was only like 5 years ago, but we all look so, but yeah, here we are. It's nice to have you following that show and the perspective that you brought to the show. You're a psychotherapist, and I think that in terms of, we speak about a lot of things here on No Bravado, inappropriate stuff as well as important stuff, a lot of Black economics, a lot of relationships. We've got a Facebook group and they do a lot of stuff we post daily and they give a lot of opinions and the show is usually based on that. But I do think in terms of the progression of our community, I think our mental health definitely needs to be looked at, and kind of if we can look at the psychology from time to time behind certain things, I think it would be good. So yeah, we definitely want the show to be a show that's educational as well as funny. Oh crap,
Yeah.
let me add spotlight to the stage. I keep forgetting to add video. Surprised he hasn't given me a little nudge. But yeah, welcome Spotlight listeners. Thank you for being here. But yeah, as I was saying, I definitely want our show to be something that's going to be beneficial to our community as well as the jokes and the banter. It's time.
Yeah.
Sometimes you definitely need to look at things, in its entirety and things that are serious. So, welcome. How do you feel about being here? You nervous?
No, do you know what? It's not so much nervous. Just more like I hope I can be helpful. I think that's more my stance on it. But I feel honoured to be here and honoured to be asked. So I appreciate it.
Yeah. No. You definitely, I know without a doubt, because we speak about you a lot. I'm always like, my therapist said.
Yeah.
For those who have wondered, Trisha has a therapist. Those who say, does she need it? And those who say, she definitely needs it. This is this is my therapist, someone that helps me out a lot, helps me to be able to break down things. The topic we're cover today is ADHD in Black women. Now, this was quite funny because who suggested it first? I think I was talking to a friend of mine who has it, and she's a white woman, and a lot of the traits that she was explaining, I was like, yo, that sounds like really like this, wow. And then I think I went to Natalie and I was like, no, I came to you first, I think. And I was like saying that I was talking to a friend and she thinks I've got ADHD. And you were like, yeah. And then I said it to a couple other people and they were like, everybody was like, absolutely. Yeah, like You didn't think you had it? Like, you didn't realise? Like, no, bitches, I didn't. Like, everyone thinks I'm ADHD and no one said nothing. But no one said nothing, but I guess that was the general consensus. So I'll ask this first before I start going into the questions.
Yeah.
What traits in me did you see that made you think, yeah, she's ADHD?
So I want to say that more than I thought that you could get. Don't want to say that I said that you've got it. I want to say that I think it's something that I think you could explore. Like, there's sometimes I tell people not to bother explore it, not to
Right.
explore what neurodiversity could look like or the assessments that may need to happen with that. Sorry, you throw me off it. I didn't know you were going to ask me about yourself.
Yeah.
Sorry.
And this is probably where the neurodiverse comes in, because my interview style just is all over the place. I've got my structure, but what comes to my mind,
exactly. So there's a prime example, like that spontaneity of like just the impulse in just think, actually, this has come to me. I'm just going to ask it. Do you know what I mean? And I think I'm just thinking about our session, so I'm trying not to like go too much into like what we discussed, but like I suppose sometimes, like, I don't think you mind me saying about that, maybe how you might overthink, and sometimes when you're overthinking, there's overthinking, and sometimes I suppose how overthinking can show up in our day-to-day living, and sometimes how it can create either take us to next levels. Like, there's some things that you've achieved that it's like, wow, like that's amazing. And maybe someone that didn't have, if I want to say, like, I'm not saying you do have it, but if someone, some of the things that you've achieved, it's because you've had all these thoughts and you've just been impulsive with it, and you've just been like, let's go. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And if they look at some of the successful people, a lot of them tend to be neurodiverse in different ways, very creative people. So like your life story and just some of the things that we discuss would show elements of
oh no, she's stuck.
Frozen.
Oh no.
Just a
Just as it
decent bit too.
Give me everyone comment.
I'm just doing that now.
Yeah. All right, let me message her and tell her she's stuck. She might need to come out and come back in. Oh no. Just as we're starting to get to it. All right. Have you ever thought that you've got you might be on the spectrum, Shasha?
I have.
You have thought about it?
There's a thought I have. Just some certain things that I do and how my mind works.
Works.
Yeah. It doesn't work
Yeah.
how a normal person's brain works. Like, yeah, it just doesn't. Yeah. She's like, yeah, I think you could be borderline ADHD. How you see it and how you explain something, like, you know what you're thinking, but then the other person doesn't. But then if you don't know you, then you'll be like, So yeah, it's like when I just like, for example, like I need to have things straight, certain things straight. So otherwise, it just agitates me, or like overthinking things, or how can I put it? What did she say to me? She said something to me. Can't remember what it was. But yeah, I have definitely thought about it. I have, yeah. I know my brain doesn't function normally. I know that much.
But yeah. I've got so much to ask her. I hope she can get back in. Come on, girl. Where you at? Don't know what's happening. So what did you get up to over the weekend?
Nothing. All of what I was gonna do, I was like, the weather is just ridiculous out there. Like, I
Yeah.
ain't going out, and yeah, I don't need nothing and not moving nowhere. Desert didn't need anything, so I was just chilling.
Right.
Yeah, I was just relaxing. And then what did I do? Did I do anything Sunday? Nope. But no, weekend just chilling out.
Right.
Literally
All
just
right.
chilling.
As we're waiting for her to come back, I didn't really like pick out any topics
Yeah.
because I feel like sometimes these interviews take up the whole
Session, yeah,
the
Divulge
whole
into,
thing.
yeah.
But
Hmm.
what caught your eye in the group this week?
Oh, the big old cross of a woman kissing up Chris Ban.
Hey, in front of her whole husband. All right, let's do that until I can. Let me see if I can get into No Bravado. There we are. No Bravado. I'm sure she'll be back soon. I don't know what's happened. Oh, firstly, let me say as well, a massive
Hmm.
happy birthday to Melissa
Oh.
Gold, Christine Andrews, someone I went to school with, Susanna Orby, and Antonia Toya Fontaine. You're all like big contributors to No Bravado, and I really appreciate you guys. I hope you had a wonderful day. Wonderful day. Let's see if we can find Chris Brown.
So I was just like, you dirty cross.
In front of your husband as well.
And when I watch it come after like the second time I watched it, I was like,
Who
why is
posted
this
that? Can you remember?
no, I can't remember who. Let me see if I can hold on.
I can't find it.
Let me just quickly hold on. I can find it. And then when I clock it now, she's got a big old tongue out as well.
Properly tongue kissing. And I'm like, if you end up with cold sores on your mouth, for your business, it will serve you
No,
right.
yeah, he's got no. That's I know you got your crushes and that, but that
Yeah, went a
oh
bit
Daniel
full. Oh,
Ragamuffin
Danny,
posted
sure.
it.
All right. Send me the link. Send the link to me so I can get it on my screen. And
Okay.
let me call her. I don't know what's happening.
Why are you not? Okay, here we go. Oh, I want to do that in there. Really?
Oh, so
Oh,
why
here
is
we
it come up on here my phone, but not on my? You sent it. I said put it in the group.
Oh, sorry. Hold on. 1 sec.
Because that phone's not linked to my
Yeah.
computer.
Oh, okay.
All right, let's have a look. Let me share my screen.
I was absolutely horrified. Like, really? If when I looked closely, I was like, this old heifer is basically kissing
What
her
is he
son.
doing? What is he doing as well, though?
He's there to put on a show, but this man, he don't business.
Yeah,
But
but
you're.
word.
No, she took it way too far.
Still in front of your man there. trying to. It's her licking his face.
Yeah. Nice.
Well. Anywho, and it was the husband. If that was the husband shaking his head, let's have a look at what I know Bravado Massive had to say. Hopefully, I don't know what's going on. With Mitchell. I can't.
Oh, just like you're
see.
taking a mick. I understand you might, you got this big crush on him, but no, man, have some. Even if it's not for the husband, have some sort of respect for yourself.
Yeah.
And you're if you want to give him a little peck on the cheek, but you got your big old tongue out as well. But you're going in for lunch.
So yeah, it said it looks like she kissed him. So if my partner did that, it's over. Said Nick Nicks. Daniel said, "Would you be able to contain yourself in the heat of the moment?" Yes. Do you know how many people Chris Brown has probably kissed? Like,
Right.
No. Allegedly. Let me say that.
Yes. Allegedly, yes.
Anyway, not for tech. I would like to think so, but maybe I'd never know until it happens. I can't lie. People will think about this moment rather than the potential risk. Yeah. A quick dance, I would allow it, but a kiss, I'm done. Absolutely.
Exactly. Or if it's your man and it's somebody like Candy's up there and she's bought your PlayStation with a little lap dance on you, that's no problem. I can deal with that. But from when you're then doing all the tongue business, nah, know your place and know it well.
Yeah.
I know it's a one-time offer, but don't cross those lines. And then I'm there.
If you're there or not. Do you remember when them what were they called? Like chocolates. It was Chocolate City guys, the strippers.
Yes, yeah.
And people's relationship was bust up because
right.
ladies lost their mind. Do you know what I mean? Here she is, I think. Thank God.
She's come back.
I think she's back now.
Yeah, them kind of things there, but I'm not. I had that when the man wanted to push up his things on my face, and I'm like, no, we ain't doing that. You could just stand right there and do all the what you got to do from that distance.
Yeah. She did come in and then it just disconnected again.
Oh God.
Anywho, Davina said, I wouldn't be up there making a fool of myself, whether single or married. But if our husband was to end things, I wouldn't wrong him. It's blatant disrespect. Yeah, it is. You would reject the offer to jump on stage. I would. I'm not doing no puppy show up on stage with Chris Brown. But me a big person. If you know what I mean. If you're younger,
then different. You're gonna go up there.
Yeah. Hey, sugar, you're muted. Mitchell. Oh, she's gone again. Oh dear. It's like the powers that be don't want us to have this
no conversation.
Yeah, but we're gonna have it. I'm not gonna to do something like that. Yes, I'm not gonna be up there stimulating intimacy like that. First with a stranger and second in front of a crowd. I agree, married or not, says you. Kiss now, ask for forgiveness later. D Rich is funny, you know. I'm most divorcing you after half of what you got after that comment. I would never cheat on you. Okay. We're just getting on some No Bravado romance. That's a lie. You're willing to risk it for Chris Brown. Chris Brown, he's not my crush. I had someone else in mind. Name them, him, laughing out loud. Who else would I need to worry about? Anyway, for them private conversation.
Yes.
I think she ends with Michael B. Jordan. I think Michael B. Jordan's everyone's crush. The Grammy makes him look even better.
You understand? But he got too much tea in his mouth.
You reckon? Oh, she's
Yeah.
having problems. Okay.
Sandy Fleur says, "Nah, that's unacceptable." Even if she gave me a little kiss, a little peck on the lips, that I could deal with. But you got your whole tongue out like a lizard.
Not like a lizard.
A whole tongue, like, girl.
Yeah, sort your life out, man. Sort your whole life out. Hang on. Group. What else is there? It's unacceptable. It is. The fella looked helpless.
Yeah, he did. Embarrassed too.
Did. My girl not even allowed to go to karaoke with her male cousins, let alone Chris Brown. Not karaoke. Connor's an idiot, you know. I can't with him. I had to take out one of his comments the other day and I sent him a message and I was like, listen, don't try and pop down my group. Meanwhile, your group is alive and kicking and popping, but you're putting all of these things in my group for Facebook to, you know what I mean, kick down my thing. But he's funny. I do like him, but sometimes he gets a bit out of order. Yeah, I'm being sarcastic. Couples go to the store. I wouldn't do it, but if we don't know their life, he didn't look like he was down for it, Katrina, at all.
No, not one iota.
Anthony said 100% over. DJ Emma said definitely over. No discussions, no negotiation, no nothing. Joe McKenzie said no respect for your partner means there's no relationship. What would happen if the genders were swapped?
Right.
Wesley said done, and done. Brahina Hunt said, wow, if I had a husband and he did that, it's over. Not controlling his urges indicates that he will cross the line if given a chance.
Yeah.
Totally. Ian Major, just to prove some hoes garden tools ain't loyal. Not acceptable and highly embarrassing. It is. Okay, so when he forgets that he's married, she shouldn't be pissed off either. Exactly. That whole part. Let's see if we can get to win now. Trying to get in, but
not working for her.
It's not working for her. I don't know why.
The other one I was thinking of, the lady that walked across the stage at her ceremony.
Yeah, hang on. She sent me a voice message.
Okay, all right.
Let me find it so that it can play. But it's not because I didn't prepare any of these because, like I said, the whole thing would the interview would usually take up the whole show. So it doesn't even make sense looking at these because we're not going to get to them. But here we are. Here she is. All right.
Is she back? Did you go to the thing on Sunday?
No, I didn't. I underestimated how tired I was going to be, but I'm sure it was good. Okay. It sounded really good.
Yeah.
So, hang on, share screen. Can you see my screen?
Yep. Yeah.
All right, let me mute my thing so that I can call her or listen to her voice note at the very least.
Yeah. You're mute.
What did you think of that?
I didn't, personally speaking, I didn't think that was needed. That was needed. Just my personal speed. I get that people have problems with certain lectures that they have, um, but I just didn't think it was appropriate. But each of their own.
Mm,
Like I said in the post, she could need to go back and have a reference from one of them, like a particular subject she's doing, and then you haven't shaken hands with them. And even though you know that no one can't give you a bad reference, saying little on a reference speaks for itself.
right.
Sometimes me personally, I'm not going to let my enemies or someone who's put me down let them know exactly how I feel. I'm not going to give you that energy. I'm going to try and rise above it, because when I was in school, secondary school, my head teacher told me, "Oh, you're not gonna amount to nothing. Was it? You're not intelligent." Da, 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 da. And then we had our ceremony, and we all had to do like a university presentation. I just, we had to. There was different teachers that were on the stage, and it was nothing like that we had to do. And I just stood tall, and I just showed him he was a better person. The man didn't the man pop down dead a couple months after I left school.
Not pop dad. To be not laugh. That's not funny. Not pop dad dead. Oh gosh.
Man did pop
Uh,
down. So yeah, I'm not gonna. I'm not. I see it as a psychological game. I'm not going to show you how vexed I am with you or how you pissed me off. You know what I know it. This is my time, and I want people to. This is an event to show what I've done, my accomplishments. I've already proved that. One thing I'm not going to do is take away from the fact of why everyone's here. Everyone's here to celebrate me, not to be thinking, why did she do that for? Why did she do that for? Yeah, not the time or place personally.
mm,
What do you
okay.
think?
I'm 50-50, if I'm honest. Because I mean, this comment it said here. Hang on, let me share my screen again. God, let's see what it's gonna do. Nah, it's not working for her. I don't know why. She's tried to come in, and then it just keeps saying it's disconnected. We'll have to arrange another date.
Yeah. Shame though. Looking forward to that.
Yeah, it's gonna be a good conversation, but oh no.
Yeah, no, it's
Okay.
yeah.
Yeah. So anyway, the okay the comment that was under the actual post, it said she's gonna go far in life. A probably me. See, if you're gonna throw shade, at least make sure that your grammar is correct. Um, probably me a McDonald's manager in no time. Got to learn that in certain situations. Whilst I'm reading this, I'll find some more posts and send them to
Okay,
the
yeah.
group. Yeah.
Mhm. Yeah.
Got to learn that in certain situations, your private feelings should stay private, and publicly you should show maturity and professionalism. Never let someone else's actions and emotions dictate yours publicly. Could have been someone watching that was going to give you an opportunity, but you just showed everyone your true character. As a parent, I wouldn't have. As a parent, I would have been ashamed and upset. If you weren't going to honor the ceremony by being mature, then you just shouldn't walk. So in a way, I got that because
Yeah.
yeah, I was just like, to be fair, You don't know who's watching at any given time. So you might
Mhm.
have just fumbled your bag
Yeah.
by doing that. Um,
Yeah.
but at the same time, I get when you just don't want to be fake. And
No, yeah, that part too.
yeah, I
That
get when you just don't want to be fake. So she just so someone was saying in the comments that basically she was bullied by some of these people, and they probably
yeah.
put every barrier in her way so that she couldn't
Yeah.
get there. What was shaking your hand for? You didn't help me. It's like I don't know. Anyway, so let's read. I'm on the fence, and I'm not really used to being on the fence, but
Yeah.
Eric Lard said she'd be selling them fries and coke from the drive-through window soon enough. Um, this is what people really seem to think that she's scuppered her chances in life. Um, I would have shaked everyone's hand. I'm showing you. Give me two more topics whilst I'm reading these,
Yeah.
Shasha.
Yeah.
Yeah. I would have shaked everyone's hand. I'm showing you and the entire audience how I feel about you, and you may need a reference from one if you don't shake hands with, but they're not going to give you a reference anyway if they made your life hell. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So let me just see if Gary's about. Hang on, Gary. Yeah. You've already shown them that whatever they did to you didn't stop you from accomplishing what you done. I get that.
Done. Yeah.
Diego de Boss, what did he say? It's against the law to give bad references. It looks bad, I agree, but it tells people they did her wrong. Doing things to make things look good is the problem with society today. Let her be the difference. Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah. I just would.
Yeah.
I just wouldn't want it to take away from what we're trying to celebrate.
Yeah.
That's my only issue.
Yeah. I
That's
hear you, but
yeah.
sometimes it's not best to let your enemy know how you just your opinion. I hear you, that's fine. In some cases they need to be shown the error of their ways and learn never to do it again because it just may be repeated. Yeah. We don't know her story, so she must know why she did that. Davina said, I'm torn. On one hand, I applaud her for staying true to herself and holding honesty true. But on the other hand, from the professionalism take, it didn't look good. That being said, for the sake of aesthetics, how long should we uphold what is expected of us before we say enough is enough? I don't know her story, so I can't judge her decision to make such a bold move so publicly and
Mhm.
at the pertinent time of her life. But whatever led her to this obviously impacted her enough to make such a move. So on that basis, until I hear her side of the story, I'm not going to say whether she was right or wrong. But one thing is for sure, it was right for her at the current moment. Yeah.
Yeah.
Um, I've been in that situation. I'm 50-50, says Kwame. You shake Martin West says, you shake the people that did you wrong or stood in your way at the most big exaggeration, wide eyes, big smile, because it's them who fuel and drive your ambitions. Without them, she doesn't do that walk. Some teachers practice tough love, try to trigger your desire. Some teachers are just bad and they all contribute to your success one way or another. They make you step up. So her immaturity got the better of her. It's an interesting take.
That I could see from yeah.
Interesting take. I don't blame her. We don't know what those teachers did to her, but I assume it must have been serious for her to blank them so publicly. If not, and her dislike is due to petty reasons, then that attitude will destroy her life. I will say, though, this narrative that we should smile in the face of disrespect is madness. And this is it. Like,
Yeah.
I agree with that. Like everyone can treat you like shit, and then for public, you're smiling and nodding. I get both sides, and I'm not very used to. I'm very black and white, so
Mhm. No, I do
it,
get what people are saying. Yeah.
yeah, yeah. There's no one for you to even bounce off with. Yeah, I don't know. Can you read the
Hold on.
rest? Read this comment.
Yeah. Yeah. I saw this a few years back, but whilst some of the comments may seem appropriate, there's a bit more to the story. The student was being harassed and bullied, but after raising concerns, she was sidelined by the board. You know how it is. You are seen as an aggressive black woman if you stand up for yourself. Yeah, then I wouldn't have shaken their hand either. Kwame says, um, where is it? The Venus said, I thought I recognized this video. Yes, I remember reading about it. I agree with you. This is her experience and not for us or anyone else to speak on it and determine if she was wrong, right or wrong. Goes back to saying, Colin Golson, you took the words right out my mouth. Her story is powerful, and I remember watching a video years ago. Some people were quick to ridicule her without knowing the story or what she endured. It's worth noting that she didn't just refuse to shake hands with white people, she also refused to shake hands with people of colour. During my 21-year army military retirement ceremony, I refused to shake hands with many people and didn't think twice about it. Whether it was the most mature approach is subjective, but it felt good. Nobody truly knows her story. Perhaps this incident could be an opportunity for some lecturers to reassess their attitude towards undergraduate students. It might be a way to expose their true character. Did anyone respond to that? Annette Adhara says, all the times a black woman stands up for herself, we are labelled as aggressive, threatening, and they even claim be afraid even if you didn't do nothing wrong, and the rest follows. The sheeps follow the sheep, and as the rest follow the sheets because it fits their narrative and how they built the system against us to oppress us every time we defend ourselves. They suddenly fear us, but when they are bullying us to the limit and we keep it quiet, it's funny for them until we say enough. They become victims, cry crocodile tears, and humble you everywhere. And I wouldn't humble you everywhere. I wouldn't shake hands either to the ones who humble me. I'm not cynical to that point. Oh,
I'm there calling Gary, and Gary's typing. I wanted to see if he could jump on so that you could have someone to banter with while I try and sort out the back end. But anywho, he says, "What's who's watching got to do with that? If you have treated bad for the whole 3 years, then I need to say thank you and go away." Yeah, I get. Hi, Mitchell. Welcome back. I'm sorry about all of the
Yes.
problems you've been experiencing, Sugar, but welcome back.
No problem. I think I've got a new laptop now, so I'm hoping this one works.
This one will work.
Okay.
Yeah.
Someone sent me a message. Someone's trying to call me, but I can't take the call. If you're watching, I can't take the call, Sugar, whoever you are. But someone sent me a message that says, oh, it was on the other
She's
phone.
gonna mute.
Yeah, sorry, we just went to a topic because obviously the whole show was framed around you. So yeah, we just went to a topic to try and think. So look, once we get over this topic, I don't know if you've seen this video, Mitchell. It's about a girl that at her graduation ceremony, she only shook the hands of the teachers that she liked or that she got on with. And have you seen it?
No.
You haven't seen it. I'll show it to you. Hang on. You can see my post. You can see my screen, right?
Yeah.
This is it. And then as well. So, the debate is, was she wrong for that? Did she show her ass? Some people are saying that they think that she's not gonna go very far with that attitude, and some people are saying, well, if they made their life hell, why are we smiling and nodding with people that made their life hell? I sit on the fence because I kind of get both parts. Like, someone said, you don't know who was sitting in the audience that could have been given her an opportunity and then would have been turned off by that. And others are saying smiling and nodding with people who made your life hell is what's wrong with society today. What say you, Mitchell?
I think it's one of those ones where, again, we have no idea what this post was even about. So, and again, we don't know her story. So again, I'm very much a person that, unless I know the full story or things, I wouldn't necessarily give an opinion on it. But It's definitely like, if it could be something that limits her, if that's the case, because like you're going to have bosses, you're going to have people in life that you don't always get on with. And it's not that you have to be fake, and it's not about anything like that. I think it's about societal kind of professionalism.
Right.
But again, is there a thing that says you have to shake everyone's hand? So again, we don't really know her story, and it could be even we're having a discussion about something that was made to look like this. Do you know what I mean? So and if it was a space where she was really victimized or really treated badly or felt really, then does she need to? Do you know what I mean? So we don't know. We actually don't know. What would have pushed her to feel like that was the way to do that?
And Adira is saying, all the times a black woman stands up for herself, we're labelled as aggressive, threatening, and they even claim to be afraid, even if you didn't do anything wrong. And the rest follows the sheep because it fits their narrative of how they built the system against us to oppress us. Every time we defend ourselves. Hey Jigger, I needed you earlier, but thank you for being here.
I can go then. Jeez.
I thought they hear us, but they are bullying us to the limit, and we keep quiet. It's funny for them until we say enough and become victims, cry crocodiles and humble you everywhere. You wouldn't shake their hand either to the ones who humble me. I'm not cynical to that point. Anyway. These go on a bit actually, and now I feel like we've got Mitchell back, and the stream is working. So, have we?
Anyway,
she's gone again.
Here she is.
She come back.
What is happening?
I say to you that what's them again? Why not watch that video? Do you remember Do you remember a couple of years ago there was a black girl who got in they wouldn't give her the microphone and she dragged it off the
yes.
See, that was going too far.
Yeah,
too far. This one, I don't think it's going too far. I think she's well in her rights. Even if she got on with people and there's a couple of people she just didn't get on with, you know what? I'd have to shake her hand. Why am I shaking hands meant to be a sign of friendship or kind of collaboration? And if me and you are not friends and I don't like you and you've got bare bad energy from me from whenever you've had it from me, I mean, some of them teach you to tell you things like, oh, you're never going to amount to anything, you're this, that, and the other. then I must be your brethren.
Yeah.
Come on, nah.
I had
Shake your
that.
hand in
And
public. And that's what some
and-
people are saying in
and
terms
even
of.
even if again you hadn't done anything wrong with me for me, I saw someone writing a thing about, oh, what about the future? What the future got to do with it? So what if someone sees you not shaking my hand? Me and you get on all right. Why do I need to shake people I don't get on with how right? And like I said,
Yeah.
I said this to people at work that I've actually worked with and I manage. I don't need you lot to be friends, yeah?
Yeah, exactly.
What's that
Exactly.
doing? Oh,
I didn't come here to make friends, come here to work. It's as simple as
I
that.
pay you to do a job. I don't pay you to make friends, yeah? That's what we pay you.
Absolutely.
I can remember being an interview. I can remember being an interview one time. It's a job that I was already doing, and they interviewed me. And they asked me a question about not getting on with arguing with patients or something. I can't remember how the question was. It was something to do with arguing with patients or getting on with your teammates. And I said I have problems with people. And they said that, and at the end, it's asked me about 2 or 3 times. They asked me that question, the same question, and then they asked me again at the end of the interview. I said, "You pay me to do your job. You don't pay me to get upset with people." And the woman looked at me like to say, "What?" Like she looked vexed. I was like, "Well, that's what you pay me for. You don't pay me."
Did you get the job?
Yeah, I got a job, but it was it was an internal job.
Okay.
And like, I don't, it was a restructure. I think that everyone was restructured, so I think only 2 people didn't get the jobs.
Okay.
But really,
just about to say, let me. God, this isn't
But
going well.
I had that for one interview that when I went to and my head was all there because mum had just got diagnosed, and they was like, "Oh, have you got any? Did you want to say anything?" So I was like, "Actually, yeah, I do." He goes, "Oh, okay, no problem." Says, "I don't start before 9. I don't finish after 5, and I don't do I don't do office politics. I come here, I do my job to the best of my ability, and that's that." And it was like, okay. And then when the HR called me, they was like, "What did you say in your interview?" I was like, I was not in the frame of mind, so I just told them exactly how I felt, and they want to hire me. That's up to them. They said they've never had somebody say all that. So I said, "Well, I just said to them, I don't start before 9, I don't finish after 5, and I don't do office politics. And if there's a work due outside of working hours, it's up to me if I want to go or not. Don't get vexed if you don't see me."
It should be, but you are judged for that. All right.
Yeah.
So
I didn't work politics. It's really funny. I don't do work dues. Like literally, people moan at my workplace. Oh,
you look like a floating head. Put your computer down.
I said I don't do work dues, and they were like, "Oh," and I said I do them because I get paid to do them. Like you
Yo, I just
come up.
But sorry, we were meant to have Mitchell on to talk about ADHD, right? And then there was a whole bag of issues, and then I needed you to come on to talk to Charlene whilst I try and sort out the back end with her. Now I think we're sorted, and
I can go.
It's been,
I can go now. Then, yeah.
No, you can stay, but I'm conscious of the time, and I want to get her thing. Yeah. So
yeah,
I want to get her section done, and then we can go back to our normal conversation.
Oh yeah, go. Okay,
so, you stay, please stay, because you always didn't you just hear me say? I don't you, man. I just said please stay. This is what he does. So Mitchell, welcome. You're muted.
Hiya. Sorry about what's gone on with my technical.
Oh my God, I'm so sorry. I've been looking forward to this show, boy, because I think there are a lot of things that need to be addressed and answered in the best possible way. So let's try and get to it now before anything else goes wrong. So, Gary, man, you didn't have to just fling off the stage like that. You something else, but anyway. So introduce yourself and explain what you do, please, Mitchell.
Okay, so my name is Mitchelle Greenaway. I am a psychotherapist, life coach. I also run a CIC called Jigsaw GC, where we work with young people and families. And I also run a company called REM Wellbeing, which is about supporting people with their well-being. I try not to use the word mental health. I try to think of it as a space of when you come for therapy, when you come for support, it's not necessarily about mental health. It's more about how is your well-being, how are you feeling, and looking at how we develop that space for you.
Right. Okay. What version of you started this journey, and how is it different today? How are you different today?
The version of me that started this journey, I don't want to say I fell into it. I was working in schools initially, and I dropped out of college when I was 17. And
Okay.
I was working, and when you're kind of working in schools with not really any kind of real qualifications behind you, kind of saw as support staff, you can only go so far.
Right.
And kind of just, I think I've learned about how do you add value. And I started looking at how people really saw paper, they really saw certain things like that. So I started, I remember overhearing a conversation in the staff room and hearing someone talking about doing a course. And I was like, let me jump on this course. If people are talking about courses, maybe I need to put a few courses on my CV.
Right.
Jumped on it, turned out to be a therapist course. And
Okay.
I fell in love with it. I fell in love with learning about myself, because it's really a personal development journey in itself, as well as professional development.
Right.
I learned a lot about myself in that time, and learned about how to support others as well. So that version of me was a young, like in my 20s, mum of 3, and trying to figure out life. But then realizing that if I maybe had a version or support, the right type of support, maybe I wouldn't have been in the spaces I was in. Maybe life would have looked a lot different. And so I wanted to create, I tried to create a space where people could come to a space where they could work on themselves and also learn they're more than what they think when you're in your current situation.
Right. Okay.
So yeah, so that's what led me to start.
And do you think you've accomplished that?
Yeah, even ways I didn't even could imagine I would have accomplished that.
Okay.
Good.
Good. Who are you when nobody needs anything from you?
Good question.
My business partner would say I never switch off.
You go switch off.
Yeah, I would say I'm creative.
Okay.
I think when people don't need me, I get to be creative. I'm a mum, and I get to, I think that's the time I'm the most creative, when I'm kind of by myself, or
Right.
or I'm just hanging out with my kids.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. So you've said why you've created Wellbeing, REM Wellbeing, and the gap
Yeah.
that you're filling. So we'll skip that. What would surprise people about your journey?
That there was no plan.
Right.
I think when people meet me, when I do a lot of trainings and stuff, I think when people hear my story, they're shocked, because I get judged in the sense of how I sound when they see me. People would not expect me to have maybe the past I have had. But I think, yeah, I think maybe knowing where I came from and my journey would shock people, I think, a lot.
Right.
Yeah. I think people not knowing that people think I had this big plan, and this whole space I'm in now was part of a strategy that like people say, I want to be a teacher, I want to do this, I want to do that. Like I want to be a business person, that was never. I was a mum of 20. I had 3 children by the time I was 23. This was not in necessarily the goals to be running 2 organizations. I didn't even think it was achievable.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. I'm doing this because we want to try and get Mitchell on every other month, and I want the audience to become familiar with you and your story and so on and so forth. And I think it's really important that you represent Black mental health, and
Yeah.
it's nice to be able to speak to you about your journey, and show people that there's a safe space in Black mental health, because I think there's an issue with our community looking at our mental health, but that's another conversation for when you come on next. Yeah, if you come back after all of what happened today.
My computer's gone down, like some kind of virus has got in it now.
But StreamYard doesn't give viruses. It doesn't. It's that. What the hell?
No, I think it's I've got every tab open. This is one of the things. I have every tab open, so I think it's to do with me as well.
Okay.
Yeah.
I've never heard of it giving anybody. I was like, what? When I was reading, what is happening? But anyway, what did you have to unlearn about yourself to get to this point?
I had to unlearn the stories everyone else had created. The stories that you see online, and you see not online because at the time there was no online, but I had to unlearn that just because I had taken certain paths and made certain decisions in my life, that my life wasn't limited to that point in time.
Right.
And so then I had to see my own potential amongst where it felt like there was none. And I had to...
How did you do that though?
I think I had a conversation with someone today actually, and they will use the word core memories, and I really like that idea. There was some stuff that when I was growing up that was reminding me of things that maybe weren't in my professional, my current perspective of life at the time. So maybe my mum took me to Atlanta when I was 15, and I got to see the world. I got to see, like, I went to this thing called African American Women on Tour, and just seeing all these women come together, all these celebrations, all these different things. They were like moments of those kind of different spaces and situations and experiences I had in my life that allowed me to, I think when I then got into this kind of space in my life where nothing felt possible, I had those kind of like downloads that kind of were there to say there's more out there for you. And I think having a mum that I always saw, even though I saw her working for everybody, I never saw her sit still and never saw her not do something. So I think, and she always kind of said to me, you can do anything, even when it didn't look like I could do. And when a lot of people had given up on me or given up on my potential in that sense. So yeah, I just kept going.
Okay. So fundamental core sort of installations from young, you think helped you to be able to interesting. Okay. All right. Is ADHD often missed, and especially in Black women?
Yes, it is. With ADHD, especially women, and I want to say just neurodiversity in general, is because we the way our communication is, the way it's easy to pin things down to behavior. It's easy to give people labels of like laziness, having an attitude, emotionally reactive, inconsistent, rather than being understood. We're seeing what people are showing us as maybe a symptom of something else. So, for instance, if someone comes to you with, I don't want to compare it to like a chest infection or anything, but sometimes you might be coughing, but there's more than just the coughing. Do you know what I mean?
Right.
So, and sometimes you go to doctors and they just will just dismiss you. Oh, you just got a cough. That's it.
Right.
Do you know what I mean? But with ADHD for especially girls and girls in general, it's not even a color thing. We are very good at masking and not saying that we are struggling, because it's not a thing to say, like you're struggling, especially in the Black community. Survival and just kind of being strong and just keep going is something that's enrooted in us and
Okay. Yeah, go on. Go on.
So yeah, so I think you're less likely to say, I just, something that does, it's not clicking, I just can't get it. You show up in different ways.
Right. All right. So let me take it back a step. What is ADHD?
So ADHD is I don't like what it actually, the words it uses, because it, when you hear stuff like disorders, you kind of see it as a thing where you just don't want to be associated with a disorder. Yeah, when we think of certain words. So it's a sorry, I got my braces in. It's a neurodevelopmental disorder characterized by like persistent patterns of inattentiveness, hyperactivity, impulsivity that can affect your daily like functioning and development.
Right.
And I like to use the word that can affect.
Can affect. Because I remembered when we first had a discussion about it, you said to me that in terms of our community, it can get missed because of the way in which we are brought up. So in terms of, like, I don't know, I'm trying to choose my words here, but in terms of like behaviors that might be associated with it, them behaviors there couldn't run in the Black household.
Yeah, exactly.
Right. So
Exactly.
I'm gonna go off script a little bit, but because like what I was saying to you offline was, it feels like a trend at the moment. So everybody seems to be like, I'm ADHD, I'm ADHD. Why the big reveal now? Why do you think it's all coming to the surface now?
I think it's one of those things where, like a lot of things, we take hold of something and we generalize it. And we try and make things make sense. So by saying, by everyone claiming something, like maybe they're focused, all these different things, it helps them make themselves make sense, whether they have ADHD or not. But I think, like, it's like, for instance, anxiety. We can worry. Worry is an actual emotion. Being nervous about things is an actual emotion. And it doesn't mean that you have anxiety. And anxiety is something that you actually, it's something that really crippling. Like, you can't leave your home. Or you can't, like, your body is actually sweating because of something. Do you know what I mean? But so we use words sometimes like, oh, I'm feeling really anxious, but actually it's just that I'm worried about something. It could be just that you're worried. And sometimes we take on a word without necessarily understanding it in its full entirety. So even with ADHD, it's one of those things that it does help people make it make sense. Do you know what I mean? And I think everyone is in different ways. Like, focus is something that no one has 100% of. Do you know what I mean? But the levels of where you have ADHD, it could be something that could like, you just can't even be in that room. You can't be in that space because you can't sit still. You can't, or you're over focused on something to the point where you can't even do anything else. Yeah. So it's just the understanding. So like in schools where it could be missed is like, if your child is not challenged enough, it's not saying that a child doesn't want to learn that because they've got ADHD or something, but if they're not being challenged in a way or stimulated properly, then their communication is going to be, I don't want to be here, because they can't sit and focus on what something, if it's not challenging enough or if it's not something that makes sense to them. So so it's just that lack of maybe connection that people have, where they just will think it's just about focus. It's just like when I'm working with people with ADHD, sometimes like the way they'll focus on something, it's not that they don't have, is sometimes it's they're so hyper focused. There's different bits, like you can have the hypersensitive at the hyperactivity, you could have the impulsivity, you could be combined. So there's different also streams of ADHD. So someone might not have certain aspects of it, but then will have other aspects of it.
I see. Because I know sometimes if I'm given a task, I can hyper focus. People who work with me know down to the fine detail. But I look at it like a gift.
Yeah.
Because it's helped me to find like large sums of money in organizations that no one's been able to find. Do you know what I mean? In systems that are completely tits up, I've been able to find things. So it's, to me, it's like a gift. But then I guess the hindrance is that if you're over focused on something, then it takes away your focus from other things, like not being able to rest until you've done that can burn you out.
100%. And I think one of the things that, when you back to your question about like families like ours, would be that the words that the meaning of how it's labeled, like deficit disorder, something's wrong with you. I think where we come from, places where we're already made to feel less than in certain aspects, it's another thing. Like, no, nothing could be wrong with my child, because it makes you feel like something's wrong. So rather than it actually being something that can be a gift.
Oh no. Not again. This is what happened when she... Oh, mate. This conversation is really important. It's needed. But I think I'm going to call it on the show, do you know, because we haven't really got one prepared, because it's around this conversation, and it's an important conversation, and I really want to have it, but I don't know what's happening with her.
Just the juicy bits.
Just at the juicy bit as well, isn't it, right? But I might have to call the show, because Gary's gone again. And I'm not even calling him back. I'm not even calling him back. Mate, just at the juicy bit as well. But yeah.
It's interesting what she said.
Yeah. What did you find interesting?
Because when you were talking about for example, watching you work, for some reason it just clicked on me. I mean, I've been one of you with doing Diva shows for how long now, and it was only when was with Mumsy on Saturday at Lewisham where I was like, I finally got it. Put the bricks. Try not to. I was overthinking things. Like, just calm yourself down, and just put the blocks where they need to be, and then build from there.
Build the story. Yeah, build your story from there.
And I literally just went into Trish mode. I'm like, yeah, I get it. That's why it then became so much easier to do. You know, having something that feel like it's taking like an hour and a half to 2 hours. No, we got it done in less than an hour and a half. I think like about hour and 15 minutes. And it was so much. Yeah, it was. And I'm doing exactly the same thing, but this time I was like, no, you're trying to paint a picture, but you're not getting the outline right.
Yeah.
Like, just put everything where it needs to go, and then now you can place things in places and find yourself. I was like, I get it. You know, every picture is different. Is she come?
No, I think the computer's just died.
Oh, right, okay.
It's started. She's restarted it. Oh my god. I don't know. But yeah, I mean, everyone processes things differently. She's saying it's reloading. Okay. Should be back. Should be back. This is terrible. Because it's such an important conversation, and there's so many people that, like, once I
Yeah.
put the ad out, some people will sending me messages saying, I've just been diagnosed.
Mm-hmm.
I had a comment that was sent to me earlier. I'll repeat it when she comes back on anyway.
Mm.
um Hang on. I had a comment that was sent to me earlier, and what it said was, let me find it. Um, a few of my mates have been recently diagnosed. The pressures of work have highlighted these things, and employers are not supportive of the black community. However, in the white community, they get diagnosed a lot quicker and they get better
Mm-hmm.
work support. So that's obviously something I want to talk to Mitchell about.
Yeah.
I do think that, based on what she was saying, in terms of certain behaviours couldn't run in our households, yeah, that you get things beaten out of you. You under hyperactivize yourself, figure it out, yeah. But you're not going to be jumping up and down on my things and popping down shit because you're bored, or like. So
Oh, yeah.
there was certain behavior that, in terms of hyperactiveness and all of the rest of it, that I suppose would get missed because we were not allowed to behave in that way.
Yeah.
I guess for me, I'm like, how comes now all of a sudden it just all seems to be bubbling up to the surface? What is it
Mm.
that's causing it all to bubble up to the surface? I know for me that when I spoke to everybody about it, um, hang on, what's she saying? Please keep. Oh, this is. It just decided that it wanted to do. Her computer just decided that it wanted to do. The updates
Yeah, yeah. Oh
in the
Lord.
middle of the show. Um, wow. But it was just getting. I'm saying to her, come back though. It was just getting juicy. But I don't know. Sometimes, um, when a comments like, I don't know, because I'm not really a religious person, but like, you want to say the devil's a liar, like.
It's going to happen, but you're like, it's hard not. Just leave us alone.
Listen, we need to have this conversation, but
Yeah.
yeah, it is it's very interesting, and it is very
Mm.
interesting that if it is being missed in black women and we're being misdiagnosed or mistreated because of
Yeah.
it, then what can be done
Done.
about that? Do you know what I mean? So
True.
yeah,
Even in school with me, I used to get irritated. Um, my attention span was very short. Like, especially like if you're giving me something to do and to work out, I literally would not be moving. I needed to figure out that was me. Or if I'd learned something, I'd be sitting there and just like,
yeah, go on.
hiya. I'd just
Right.
be sitting there.
Got a laugh.
You gotta laugh. I'm like, I'm not a religious person, but I'm like, the devil's a whole liar. Um, we really gotta have this conversation, and it's important. But go on, Shah, finish your sentence, and then we'll run back into it
Yeah. No, I'm
before
saying
she cuts off
with me
again.
in school, when it came to learning something different, I wouldn't stop until, like, in my head, I couldn't move on until I've learned it. And then once I've learned it, I'm like, okay. And the teacher thought I'd be rude. I'm like, I'm bored. Like,
Yeah.
I've learned
Yeah,
it. Give me something. So I've learned my mind gets very, I can get overstimulated when I just need to figure something out. Like, you're not
Yeah.
going to beat me. Like, it's just not going to happen. And it's happened a couple of times. Like, just leave it. It's okay. No, it's not okay because I've started it. I need to finish it. It can't
yeah,
be that hard.
Yeah.
yeah.
I can't walk away.
When you was offline, Mitchell, like, I was reading some of the comments, because when I put this out, the response that I got in terms of like interest for the show, a lot of people are interested in it because I think everyone's trying to figure out themselves now.
Yeah.
So I got a message earlier where it said, a few of my mates have recently been diagnosed. The pressures of work have highlighted these things, and employers are not supportive of the black community. However, in white community, they get diagnosed a lot quicker and get better support at work. Do you think there's any truth to that, or?
I think it's easy to be able to say that, like, there's two folds. I've worked with so many families where I get the parents later on and they're like, actually, the school mentioned it in primary school, but I thought not my child. No.
Right.
Yeah. So what happens is there's times when parents are actually, especially in primary school, you will find that primary school are better at maybe detecting it, and they might bring it up, but then parents will dismiss it.
Right.
Yeah, especially in our communities, I think it's dismissed a lot more. And also, then I do have the other flip where a lot of parents don't know how to, especially if the child is misbehaving and they're saying to the schools, hang on a minute, something else. I think there's something else. They don't know how to then communicate that. So there's also language that we need to understand, because it's not something with ADHD, with all kind of neurodiversity, it is from birth. It's not something that you just one day wake up with. Yeah.
Right.
So there's things that, like I'll say to a lot of parents, we have to go back to their childhood. Like, was there things that maybe they were oversensitive with certain things, like cloths? There's all different things that you might have dismissed as, oh, my child's a bit weird, or do you know what I mean? Like little things, just dismiss it. The child learns to maybe change themselves to fit in. So then you then think, oh, it's not a problem anymore. They've outgrown it. But really the child's had to force themselves to adapt to maybe what society's saying how they should be or what they should be thinking. So, and then when they hit secondary school, you find that it's a lot harder to get that, especially if they've been labelled now and their school journey is a lot behaviour. They then are seen as behaviour.
And labelled, right.
Yeah. So I'm not saying that we don't, and also the assessment processes on when I sit and if I don't sit with a parent and say to them, this is how you need to go back in history, like the words, like you need to be able to show why and how you think this is not just telling someone that you think this, because people can, okay, well, 100 people say that their child gets a bit stressed. What do you mean by stress? You have to explain what it looks like, even if it's uncomfortable for you to be able to say, well, at home they're just not managing and it might be to this extreme. Like there's a lot of shame that comes with maybe if your child comes home, and home's a safe space where they can while out a little bit because they get held together maybe in school all day, because there's different extremes. Some people will be in school and they will display, they communicate. Some come home and they manage all day and they look like they're okay, but then at home they're not.
Right, because there's someone that's come to mind, but then if they have ADHD, they seem to be good in one environment but not in another, or good with dad but not with mum. And the person was saying to me, well, they wouldn't switch it on and off, it will just be there.
No, so it depends on, it's expectations and boundaries. So if someone is consistent, the thing with anyone, doesn't matter if you're neurodivergent, if you show me how I can treat you, then that's how I will treat you. If you show me how I can't, then I will know my boundaries. So again, it comes to that. Like even as a grown adult, let's forget about children. Let's take that out of the equation. Even as grown adults, if you look at relationships, we sometimes design how people treat us. Yeah, through what we allow, through sometimes lack of boundaries and all those things. So if you've got a young person, you'll find actually a lot of those that maybe do have ADHD, and when they have the right boundaries and the right consistency with boundaries, I'm going to say, actually, because it's not that today I'm going to be strict and you listen to me, or today I'm going to tell you that you do this, you do that, and this is what you get, or you know the expectations. If you're not doing this, then you don't get this, and that's a consistent message. They will get that. If it's not consistent, like anyone, like the thing about having ADHD, you're very intelligent people. If I can find a loophole based on what you said, I'm going to take that because it makes sense to me. Like your brain's always going, and there's always a strategy or thinking about how you can maybe. I know if I keep annoying you, you're going to give in to me. You always do. Then I'm going to do that because I want to get. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that's for anybody. It's not even someone that's got neurodiversity. That's just in general
how it goes.
You know what I mean? It's just in general how it goes. So sometimes, again, we need to come away from the thing that it's just like I think this is the thing that when people want to stay away from it because they feel, oh, it's just like a naughty thing or it's a misbehaved thing. And it isn't. There's so many different, it's like just another, like a person that doesn't have neurodiversity. If they're going to misbehave, they're going to misbehave. It's not based on anything other than they're just misbehaving. But then I think the way society has heard about it previously, generationally, it's a behavior thing. It's a behavior disorder. Yeah, and it's not. It's just like you've got children that don't have ADHD that don't behave, or do you know what I mean? So it's just how it's packaged, and unfortunately, the package that it has come with from historically is that if you've got it, something's wrong with you and you're misbehaving and you're naughty. So based on that, in our culture, we wouldn't want that attached to us. So we will stay away from it.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
So that was a question that we've listed here. What behaviours are punished but are symptoms?
So I would say like hyperactivity, not keeping still, not looking. One of the ones that is especially like eye contact or being able to like focus at someone when they're speaking to you.
Right. Okay.
Yeah. So
and then that's you being rude or
or
impulsivity or aloof. Yeah.
Yeah, impulsivity. It's not understood. We're not given with impulsivity. One of the things is it's not understood. So with no understanding to maybe think, why did you just do that? Like, do you know what I mean? Why have you just decided today you're gonna just jump or do you know what I mean? I can't give you an example right now. I'm trying to think of an example, but like if you woke up one day and you decided to just jump on a plane or something, do you know what I mean? That's no, you might celebrate that one, but if you woke up one day and your friend said to you, come around the corner, we're going around, and you just did it without thinking, do you know what I mean? That impulsivity of maybe not necessarily just reacting rather than taking a moment to think about actually why. And then you're being, well, why didn't you think? Or maybe when you're answering back quickly or someone's asked you a question, you just respond. You're reacting and maybe it's not understood. We're not given enough space to maybe understand or ask actually, why did you do that? Rather than, why did you do that? Do you know what I mean? It's just the way it's communicated.
Yeah, I get that. Okay. Next question. I think we've kind of covered this, but I'm going to ask it again anyway. How does strong Black women mask neurodivergence?
I think it's through the idea that, which one is it? I think it's under the narrative that we don't need support, that we're capable of just carrying everything. And even when we're struggling, it's just that idea of being strong and that whole idea of being strong to our own detriment, showing up even when we need to take a moment, carrying about 1,000 different things, doing 1,000 different things. So with that, it's become a label of like, I can't show weakness. Yeah, if I'm not doing everything, then I'm not good enough. So I think that's where one of the things is that narrative that we keep going no matter what.
Yeah. Someone sent me a message that said because I'm saying, how comes now all of a sudden this ADHD thing is so prevalent? And they said the uprise is twofold: some who want answers and some who need PIP benefits.
Rude.
Oh dear, I do love our audience. They're too funny. All right. What do black women get diagnosed with instead? So seems like there's a lot of misdiagnosis when it comes to us. What do we get labeled with instead?
I would say sometimes you get personality like related labels.
Yeah.
Yeah. You might get depression, anxiety. One of the things with even the personality related things, a lot of them is that's where I call mental health, like where you get certain diagnosis that people are willing just to throw at you without necessarily, and they're really extreme. And actually, it might be something just like that you might have. Not saying that it's just that you have ADHD or autism or anything like that, but you might get called by, like, sometimes I've seen some people and they've been diagnosed with some things, and I've spoken to like some therapists and supervisors that have been doing this for even longer than me, and some of the diagnoses that black women might get actually, and it's like, wow, that's trauma and maybe neurodiversity. It's not some of the things that are being thrown at them.
Right. Okay. And it's more common that that type of scenario happens with us than it does with any other of our counterparts?
I think so, because it's as well, if we don't say things like, I've been struggling with some of the things that come with ADHD for years as well, like with society, they can only diagnose what's being told to them at this moment. So if you're showing up right now and because some of the symptoms that you get from maybe having ADHD, it's not that it's a mental health, but some of the things, the side effects of having it because you're holding it is maybe depression, is anxiety, maybe overwhelm, and then it could lead to things like when that stuff bottles up and you're trying to fill a glass with it might break. You know what I mean? So at that moment, you are now seeing someone that's at this real high intensity, maybe breakdown of those kind of moments, and you're then diagnosing that rather than the lead up,
cause of the issue.
Yeah, exactly.
Right. Huh. That's interesting. Yeah. And unfortunate for us. Yeah. Because then it means that you don't truly get the help that you really need because you're constantly being misdiagnosed with other things. Interesting. We just answered that. What does ADHD look like when you're still achieving? Now, I found this interesting because, as you mentioned earlier, some people are still very high functioning. So they're not going to get necessarily the support because, well, you got this under control, you're doing this, or whatever the case may be. When you have cases, what does it look like if you're still like a really high achiever? What does that person need? What does that look like to you?
So I think with when you get to if you're high achieving, I think it's different things because like there are certain tools and support, just like for anything. And for instance, if you have and if you've got someone that's high achieving, that could look like I'm just gonna bracket it, not just ADHD, but like if you look at just neurodiversity and those kind of things like dyslexia or stuff like that. You have people like Richard Branson, you have will.i.am, you have all these different people that where it's no longer, they don't see it as a limit. They lean into it. So the overwhelm, not to say that they don't get scared, but they don't allow the fear or the overthinking to stop them. Because that's the good thing about being impulsive. Sometimes you can have an idea in a positive way. So it's when it's like when you feed it through a positive and healthy kind of lens. Like if you have an idea and you try it and you're like, okay, I just tried it and oh my gosh, it worked. You know what I mean? And you don't allow yourself to stop you from maybe following through something you want to do. When you find something that you're really passionate about, like what Charlene was talking about, really being fixated on something, it can be, again, to a detriment if you don't sleep for 24 hours because you want to complete something. But like once you do find something you're really focused on, you can create some really great things from that. And if you have the right spaces and the right support systems to kind of channel that or expose what you've done or expose what you've created, it can lead to quite successful things. Because a lot of the time success is really much a big determination is based on you being willing to step forward and do something in that space. You trying things without holding back, not overthinking the trying. It's not to say that you're not overwhelmed by it. It's not to say that you're not don't feel stressed. It's not to say that you don't question or doubt whether you should do it or not, but there's a drive that just takes over that you just do.
No, absolutely.
I can definitely relate to that. I think the danger of it though is when you are when you are still high achieving with that, with ADHD or any kind of neurodiverse, I don't even know what to call it because you don't want to say this. I don't want to use the word disorder because I don't think it is a disorder.
No.
Do you know what I mean? But condition, is that the right word?
I would say it's I'd love to actually come up with a different word for it. I love coming up with new words for things that can change the meaning and make you feel. But I would say, but neurodiverse. I would say,
If you are neurodiverse, I mean, I think it can be labelled as like if you've not been given that title and you are high achieving. I do think that once you get to a stage where you say, actually, I'm tired or I can't, it's not taken seriously. What do you mean? It's like you're a robot because you function so high all the time. So, I do think that there's a danger of just getting flogged when you are hyper-focused and good at stuff. I do think there's a danger of that. So it's really important for you to put boundaries in place for yourself. And it's what does those boundaries look like and how do you do that? So which comes to my next question. What does self-compassion look like? So how do you put those boundaries in place? And if you are someone who's neurodiverse, what does self-compassion look like? What should be the best practices for you?
I would definitely say, and I think you've heard me talking about giving yourself grace a lot. And I think it's.
Why are you chuckling?
No, when me and Mitchell first spoke, it was the word giving grace. It was like, okay, I can not be so hard on myself because I know that I can do that quite a lot. Like, it's relax, it's okay to feel a certain way. You don't have to get so caught up about it. So I tend to say that to my patients, like, allow yourself some grace. Like, don't be so hard on yourself. You're still human.
Yeah.
So yeah.
I think I know that I can be very hard on myself, and then I'm like, they were really hard on me. But you create a reality of you kind of reflect what you give yourself. So it is about trying to. Where do you think that hard on yourself comes from?
Um, do you know what? I don't necessarily know where that comes from so much, but I know that the idea of we give to others more than we give to ourselves.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah,
I think we as a culture as well, and I know like not trying to bring religion into it and stuff like that, but if we look back at maybe our ancestors and our in like generations, one of the things where faith was a big kind of like hope, I suppose hope and all those things that come from that was a big
Mm-hmm.
driving factor of how people might have been able to survive some of the things that
right,
they were going through.
right,
And part of that comes with like how we treat others.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And
yeah,
and I think one of the things that kind of got missed in that whole kind of learning was we're meant to treat ourselves. We're meant to. It's also how we treat ourselves, and that's a key part. And I think somewhere along the line, it became, if you look after yourself, it's selfish.
yeah,
Mm.
And actually, if we look at how other cultures may work, they they support one person to really build themselves, right?
Yeah.
And then that person can then pour into others. And I think
Mm-hmm.
we missed that in a way. I think our kind of culture was like there was a point where everyone had to be every man for themselves. Like, do you know what I mean? You had
yeah,
and even though there was community, but there was a space where maybe only one person could get invited into the room. And
yeah,
do you know what I mean? And I think it's kind of passed down in ways where we don't necessarily realize that it's not selfish to look after yourself because you're meant to treat others how you treat yourself. But so if you're pouring love into other people, you should be pouring love into yourself. That's not
Mm.
selfish. Because if in order to give love
necessary.
to, yeah, in order to really love someone else, it starts with you being able to give them the overflow from you to
Yeah,
then, do you know what I mean? And in our culture, it's seen as like a thing like, oh, this person sacrificed themselves and all that stuff. And actually, it shouldn't be. It should be that you you give to yourself as well as giving to others. The more you can help yourself, the more you fulfill yourself, the more you have to give to others. And I think
Mm-hmm.
because we had so little as cultures, and I think through generations, it was like sharing your bread and all those things like you might have had to do. And when I hear stories like my great grand and all them stuff, like when you had something you'd share with everybody, but you had
yeah,
something to
Yeah.
share with everybody. Do you know what I mean? And I just think that giving yourself grace, like we give it to everybody else, we just don't give it to ourselves. There's no kind of learning about giving yourself understanding and
yeah,
supporting yourself. So part of why I always say to people, like, you have to sit back and initially, if you don't know how to do it, you start with how you would give advice to someone else that was going through your situation and like literally say your situation out loud like it wasn't you in it,
Mm-hmm.
yeah,
and then be like, what would you advise someone else
right,
in that moment? And that's like a way to
yeah,
kind of train yourself to kind of think about yourself.
yeah, yeah, brilliant.
Absolutely.
Yeah. I definitely do that in romantic situations. Like, what would you say to somebody else who was in this? And I apply it to myself.
Yeah.
I definitely do that. But yeah, I think I'm getting better with self compassion, self care. It's definitely at the top of my agenda for me. And I do feel like if I do have an issue that's knocking around in my head that I need help with, I've got no issues coming for that help or even speaking publicly about the fact that I may need that help. Like,
Yeah.
I don't see it as a taboo. What would you say that the community is not ready to hear about this topic?
Um, I don't necessarily. Don't necessarily. It's not what they're not willing to hear, not ready to hear. It's just who they're hearing it from.
Right.
I think that
Yeah.
there's a. I think people do want information. It's just who's given the information a lot of the time, and
Mm,
the mistrust in sometimes the people like to be like even the process of diagnosis and all those things. The information that's out there is very limited to for people to know how to go about things, where to go, and it's told like you can only go this way or you can only do that, and I think um, also seeing people that they can see actually no, this isn't a bad thing. This person looks like me, and they've got and
yeah.
it's okay, and it's they're not in jail or they're not here, they're not there. Like, do you know what I mean? Like just seeing, I think it's who's giving the information rather than what people are not willing to hear.
Right. Yeah. Because I guess if someone's giving the information that don't look like you, how much understanding can you have?
Yeah, exactly.
Yes.
I don't think there's
Yeah.
enough black people in our mental health anyway, for a start. In this country, I think it's very difficult, especially on the NHS, if you want to get help. Understanding your mental health, it's very difficult to find a black therapist. So people like you are very, very important. So well done. Thanks for being here because it's
Mm.
enough of you. Do you know what I mean? Are you frozen again? Okay, no, I
No,
saw
I'm
you.
here.
Okay.
Like, oh, okay.
I guess what message would you give to a woman that feels misunderstood around this topic?
Okay. I would give them the message that actually I had a conversation with someone on Sunday about this. That we just spoke about the self-compassion and understanding that the things that they're beating themselves up about, that they need to allow themselves to understand that it's not something that's wrong with you. You just yet haven't found how you best function, how you
Right.
best live with the fact that like maybe like I would say like not don't say organization, but let me think. This is a good question. I really like this question. And I had a whole 2-hour conversation with someone about it the other day, about their situation. And it was very much like sit with people that can help you to understand that this isn't a bad thing
Right.
and
Mhm.
how you can best thrive once you can sit with the idea that this isn't a bad thing to have. It doesn't mean something's wrong with you. It just
Mhm.
means that you just need to learn yourself now outside of everything that you had created, in the sense of, oh, I'm scatty, or I'm not good enough, or
Mhm.
oh my gosh, I don't, it doesn't make sense, or all those negative thoughts, or all those things that you've created, whether you're high functioning or whatever kind of way it's showing up in your life, that it's just about giving yourself to know that there's nothing wrong with you. It's just
Yeah.
more that you now need to learn how to um, um, understand yourself. Yeah,
Mhm.
Yeah.
without seeing it as like seeing yourself as this something that's wrong with you.
Yes.
Yeah.
I get that. And that takes a
Absolutely.
lot of unlearning, I
Yeah,
guess.
yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah. What needs healing in relation to this topic in the black household?
Again, I think understanding fully understanding the system and not being scared of it. I think
Do you think the system's for us though?
no, and what I mean is it's not necessarily that the system's for us or not for us, but like we hear these things and we're so proud of we're so proud of like looking like something's wrong and not wanting to own that maybe we're not getting something and we're not going and getting the right information. Like I think we're happy sometimes to sit with what's being told to us and not digging enough to find out actually how do I do this? How do
Right.
do you know what I mean? How do I make something work for me? How do I find the right people to speak to? And I think we can say that. I think even though like, we can say things have changed in the world, but information is there to be able to kind of see that, especially now when it comes to neurodiversity. It's not something we should be scared to be diagnosed with or be looked into, because actually that fear allows us to then slip through the loopholes, end up in certain spaces, and our kids end up being misunderstood in school and not
Right.
supported. So I think it's one of those things that if families are hearing or teachers or someone is saying to you about your child in primary school, even if you need to go and find someone that can give you the information you need, don't dismiss it.
Don't dismiss it, yeah.
Yeah.
Because there's a pride thing, like you were saying
Yeah.
earlier, about well, not my child, and then the child ends up suffering.
Yeah.
The tools could have been put in place from an
Yeah.
early age. And then when they get to secondary school, it's a lot harder to get that support. And I
Yeah.
know that from working in the system that it's so much different, so
Yeah.
much more difficult to get a diagnosis or any kind of support once they are of a certain
Yeah.
age. So definitely is something that we
Because even
should
within
be
the
looking at.
family,
Sorry?
even when you're saying within the family, like the support that you can get even just within your home and your households, it can be really transformative, because then you know how to then go and communicate with schools. You know how to communicate with the services or the spaces. You know that your child can't just be excluded just like that. What are you putting in place? Like there's certain things that you'd be able to challenge better than rather than sometimes we show up as parents and we're very much dismissed when we say certain things, and it's knowing how to navigate those conversations that make
Spaces.
all the difference.
Yeah. No, definitely. Well, that was my last question. So we kind of powered through. We got there in
Yeah.
the end.
I hope it was useful.
I think it really was. And like I said, I want to
Definitely.
have more conversations with you. I think I'm getting like private text messages. There's a few that have said just for my insight only, so they don't want it read. But it is resonating with people out there, because if I've got a child that's neurodiverse or they are suffering with symptoms themselves and not knowing, not understanding or knowing where to get the help or what it is about them. I mean, for me, I need to go and see if I can get some sort of a diagnosis. But having the conversation and reading about it and so on and so forth, and I guess like another person texted me today and they were like, I was laughing because I was like, yeah, same. She said, hang on. She said, she said, I only realised last year when I done a private test as the NHS has been so long about testing me. I work with SEN kids and realised I had so many traits and lots of things started making sense. My ex kept pushing for testing years, saying I had it. When I said it to my sister and a few others, I think I have ADHD. They were like, "You think? We already knew this." And I was like, "Same." All my people are like, "Yeah, like you think this is news?" And I actually did, because I didn't for a second think that that could be related to me, but I'm very methodical. Things I think that are just simple or common sense is not necessarily common sense to everybody else, and I just don't understand what. Um, I very much feel like I'm in the twilight zone sometimes by myself. It can be an isolating experience. I haven't been officially diagnosed. I think I've been dragging my feet because I'm not sure I want to be. And I have to understand why that is. But I think a lot of it is because of all of the stigma
100%.
that's been attached to it.
Yeah.
It's now learning all of that stigma, and then it will help you to understand why you process things the way you process things. Now, in terms of being able to hyper focus, like I'll be the person that will find that needle in the haystack because I have to just find it. I have to find it. It has to make sense. But then at the same time, that can be like, it's like a blessing and a curse, because if it don't make sense, I'm in hell. And it makes sense. Whereas sometimes some things are not going to make sense. Some things you're not going to have closure to. And trying to train my brain to understand that has been something that I have been working on,
And even like, I suppose, like, I know there's this big thing about labels and not wanting to have labels and stuff like that. I don't see it as like a bad thing, in the sense of it's something that should be like seen as I don't think it should be something that's seen as a bad thing. So I see it as like a way to give yourself grace. So by having it, you then can allow yourself to accept yourself. So because I think what happens is sometimes it's not as easy just to give yourself grace or without any understanding, and to create that understanding of like, why do I overthink? Why am I always late? Or why am I always this or that or that? But then when you do have this space of like, because it's not just that you're late just like once in a blue moon, or you might have forgotten about 1,000 things and had to keep going back, or however it shows up for whoever, it allows you then to think, there's nothing wrong with me. Yeah. Now, right? Okay. Because even though someone might tell you, why can't you just be on time? Why can't you just do this? Or why does it always have to be this? So unfortunately, we had the outside world that just constantly comes in and highlights something that you may struggle with.
Right.
Yeah. So by having this understanding for yourself that, okay, it's not that I'm just a late person all the time, or I've just forgotten, I forget things like 1,000 times a day, or I might lose my keys or stuff like that. It's allowing you to allow yourself to understand, okay, so now I can help it's quicker to learn to help yourself for some reason, because you wouldn't just give yourself that kind of, especially to the extremes of something like when you do have neurodiversity, how these things show up. It's not like, it's like I said, it's not like every day, like, oh, today I forgot my keys. But to the level that someone that is neurodiverse may experience certain things, by having that connection and that help to be able to connect with yourself helps equal the playing field of that understanding.
Yeah.
So it's like, this is why it says like, this is why there are a little bit more things about how do we make things be a bit more even, just because it's something that you don't see. So it's something that by having that connection with yourself to give yourself that understanding can then just help level out the playing field a little bit, just by having that understanding. It doesn't mean you need to be getting, like someone said, the PIP and all these different things that you don't need. Some of them times you don't need all those things some of the time, but it's just that connection with yourself to help you realize, okay, so all I need to do is maybe get a bit of extra support in this area. I might not need support in every area, but I might just need help with learning some structure because it just don't make sense, and I need to find a way that makes sense, because every way that everyone else does it doesn't work for me.
It's not working.
And it's just having that. So it's just having that.
I lose something every day. My day's not completely honest. I'm like, where's my phone? Where's my key? always.
Yeah.
So yeah, it does make sense because it does help you to understand why these things
Yeah.
occur. Well, all right, we made it. We done it. We
Yeah.
powered.
Sorry
Devil
about
did
the.
not prevail this time.
Yeah.
How's that done? That was a whole liar. I don't understand. I've been so
I had to send you videos to prove to you that this was happening.
right. I was like, no, what's happened to this laptop? Like, what's happened? But it looked like it was doing it up.
Literally.
Wow. Well, we done it. We got there. So hopefully this experience hasn't been too harrowing for you and you'll come back. Oh. But she's not said it. She's not said, yeah, I'll be back. She's just
Oh no,
laughed,
yeah. Sorry.
You're not coming back. But yeah, it's been a pleasure. Tell them where they can find you. If there's any projects that you need to shine a light on, do that now.
Okay. Oh, didn't think about that bit. Yeah, so no, you can find me on like Jigsaw GC if you've got anything with regards to young people and families. REM Wellbeing if it's to do with like adults, also young people, but more private stuff in regards to like with Jigsaw, we've got a lot more funding and maybe that I can navigate you into free directions and stuff like that. We do a lot of training through REM and workshops and working with professionals as well.
What does REM stand for again?
Do you want the correct reason or the real reason?
You know, I'm gonna always say the unofficial incorrect
So basically, what it says on the tin is reflection, empathy, and moving forward. But
right.
But when you ask me about my journey for REM, it's my daughter's. It's my daughter's initials.
Okay.
Yeah.
Someone's messaged me and said, get it done, girly. Nothing to lose. It gives you clarity and freedom to express yourself, gives you answers to your personality. Friends and family would have to fix up and be more compassionate.
Yeah.
My family would be just like, what neurodiverse?
I've given you the route to go and get your testing done, and you don't have to pay, and it's quicker than the NHS route.
I went on it the other day.
No, you probably went on the other one. I gave you the clinical partners one. I'll send it to you again.
Yeah, send it to me again. I'll do it. I will do it. I don't know what's holding me back. I get like this. It's like even the other day, like I bought all this machine because I get like this. I'm like, I wanted the 360 machine. Remember, I had to get it, and I got it. And then after a while, I was like, I hate this, and I don't want to do it. So,
what have you done with the machine?
Huh?
What have you done with the machine?
Gary, the guy that popped in and popped out, he's got it. I gave it to him, but I'm still. He's like, I don't understand why it's just sitting there. Like, come on. So he took it the other day, fixed it up a bit. So now he's going to be managing it, and we will go and do jobs with him. But I just was I can't. Then I bought all this machinery to make t-shirts. I was just like, I became obsessed with cricket machines, and I sat and I watched all these YouTube videos and all these tutorials, and I was like, right, I must have it. And I went out and I got it, and then I just lost my confidence and froze and just didn't do it. I had the machine for a couple of years and just didn't do it. And my mate came all the way from the US, and she was like, right, get it let's do it. So she showed me how to do it, and then once I did it, it was like, this is cool. But for some reason I froze and just couldn't do it. And then there's other things where I have no idea what I'm doing, but I'll just do it and do it and do it and figure it out. And it's weird, but I guess it's not about people understanding me. It's about me understanding myself.
100%.
Because sometimes people are just committed to understanding you anyway. But yeah, I do think it's something that's necessary. So yeah, once again, thank you. It's been
great show.
Amazing. People are texting me. They're not leaving comments, but they are texting me differently to say good show. It's read, like I said, I put this out and I got a lot of messages before the show even aired. So it does seem to be something that is affecting people or that they need more knowledge of. So yeah, looking forward to chopping up more topics with you. And that said,
well, thank you for having me.
Thank you for coming and for persevering, man. And I hope that the other laptop sorts itself out. Like,
do you know what I mean? But no,
Don't bill me.
Like you're...
Um, you can't afford it. But yeah, no, it was a pleasure. Thank you so much.
no problems. All right
I'm
then.
texting it now. Do you know what I mean? But let's see if this is a message I can read out. Hang on. It doesn't
Some
let me in.
people ask me why I like to learn different specialties with my job, and I'm like, I fell into my job accidentally because I got made redundant from I used to work in House of Fade at my last retail job, and I was like, I don't know what I'm gonna do, and I went into it accidentally from temping, and I was like, oh, okay, this is interesting. Did that for in occupational health, learned everything about it. I was like, okay, is that it? Yeah, right. That was wrong. I need something else to do. My brain, once I've dissected something, right, okay, what, there's nothing else I need to do with this, so I'm bored now. And then I found with healthcare, there was so
much.
and I was like, bingo, I love it. Like, so don't you get anxious when you're in this system? No, I love it. I need to know how it works. I want to know how it works. I will take something difficult and make it simple. I'd like to know how different departments work together, so that when I'm speaking to patients, they're like, well, why have I got to see this person for? And why have I got... I'm like, okay, let me break it down for you. This is the reason. We can't go to C until A is dealt with. And B, you might have to miss B until C is dealt with. And they're like, oh, okay. Yeah, people are like, don't you just do one specialty? I'm like, no, because at some point I'm going to get bored. So I have to have multiple things going through my head. The attention span is really bad. And especially talk about eye contact, I used to be really, really bad with people. I would look everywhere else but at the person. People are like, why don't you do eye contact? I don't like it. Even at nephews, I'd be like, and so I had to teach myself how to. I think because I don't want people to try and read me, like my facial expressions and all that. So I've had to unlearn that to like, no, I'm going to look in your eyes. So if I'm going to speak to you about something, I want to see your facial expression, your body language, the whole lot. So I really get an idea of how you're thinking. And sometimes the phone call doesn't do much justice. So yeah, it was very interesting.
Yes. I'm getting texts, people saying, well done, great show, very insightful, thank you, Mitchell. I don't know why, and this is interesting, because when we're chatting rubbish, they be commenting on the screen. Certain topics, they don't want to be seen to be associated with it. And this is why I want to have more conversation, so it's not a taboo, so that people start to relax, including myself. Because, like you said, you sent me the thing. I went on it the other day, and it was charging big money. I was like, I ain't got that right now.
No, but I bet you next time, I will send you the pathway bit, because there's a bit on there that maybe you went to the private stuff, but there's a link because basically, a lot of private companies have got funding to do the tests, but you have to go through your doctor, and there's a way to do it. So I'll show you that way.
Show me next time we meet as well.
And it's literally up to 30 weeks max, or 40. Some people have done it in 4 weeks, and it's been quick. So
really,
and it's through the NHS as well. So
I think I'm ready now to see what's what. So we'll do it.
Okay.
All right. All right. Thanks for being here, my love.
No
and we'll speak soon.
Lovely.
All right then. Bye.
Good night,
care.
ladies.
Bye-bye. Good night.
Good night.